Welcome to Real Talk with Reginald D. I'm your host, Reginald D. On today's episode, I have a special guest, Christian rapper DPB. DPB is a dynamic force in the music industry. He's a positive rap artist, songwriter, actor, clothing designer, mentor, motivational speaker, and an entrepreneur, and a former member of DOC, Disciples of Christ, a Grammy and Dove nominated group, which I remember them. His music has hit the Billboard charts in Christian rock radio, national airplay, and also hit #2 on the Urban Influencer Christian hip hop chart, and the national radio and Christian charts. Welcome, DPB.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Glad to
What's
be here,
up,
man.
brother?
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh man, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you was telling me like you was in Nashville last night that you won this award.
Yes, this award right here, a Josie Award, man. Crazy. Woo! And it says, what does it say? It says for Social Impact Music Video of the Year. Undefeated 3.0. Come on, DPB. Yeah.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, celebrate yourself, man. Celebrate yourself. So when you won that award, you had like how many people that was up for this award, or how did that work out?
All right, so there was 2,000 people that were, well, let me say it the way they said it.
Okay.
75,000 people who submitted something. 2,000 people got nominated out of the 75,000. And only 96 winners was going to be established. And I was one of them. So that's kind of cool for that ratio to be like, dang, God showing out, doing what he do.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
so-
Oh man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So with that being said, I've read your story and things like that, and man, you got so much stuff going on. I thought I was busy. I thought I was busy, man. But all the things you do is good things, man. Good positive things. So I just want to back up a little bit because I think you have a story,
Mhm.
things like that. So can you tell us a little bit about your childhood, like where you grew up and things like that for the listeners?
Yeah. Grew up in Nyack, New York. Um, I'm a New Yorker, and my story is I grew up without a father. My dad left when we was 4, 3, 2, and 1, and my mom was pregnant with my little sister. He decided to leave. And it was a very tragedy for my mom that my mom was thinking about at nighttime while we were all asleep. She would turn on the gas, and by morning time, we would all be dead. But as she was going towards the gas knob, God spoke to her and said, who you serving, God or man? She took her hands off that gas knob. And that day, my mom married God. It was Jesus. That's what it was. So I knew there was a God just based on my mom. And in Nyack, New York, we are actually musical legends called the Brooks Family Singers. Since little kids, we were singing gospel in churches, but that didn't make my full persuasion to give my life to Jesus. Because of that, I was just doing it because I was in the home of that. But at about 18, 19 years old, when I gave my life to Jesus. And that's where this whole, when it came out, because rap was known in New York, just point blank. So everybody who was in New York wanted to break dance. Yeah, and everybody wanted to rap. So that was the thing in New York. And so I started rapping in the world, meaning opening up for Salt and Pepper. Kumo D did my 18th birthday party. Like, it was crazy, like just different things. So I fell away from God because I wanted to be, for some reason, like everybody else, because my mom was the only one that did what she did and was committed to it than everybody else that was in school. So I wanted to be like everybody else. So I started rapping, all that type of stuff. But how I changed to do positive and Christian hip hop was when I gave my life back over to Christ. I said, you know what? I don't want to rap no more. And so what happened that night when I said I didn't want to rap no more, I'll do anything you want me to do, God. I just don't want to rap, because rap was a God to me. I would get up 3 o'clock in the morning, listen to the underground, WBLS, New York. I would listen to all the underground hip hop, who was coming out, da-da-da. It was a God to me. Even though I went to church on Sunday, all hip hop was all the rest of the week, you know? And then, but when I gave it to God, I said, I didn't want to, I give my life to you. I just don't want to, I'm not going to listen to rap no more. And that night, when I did that, God gave 3 pastors my number while they was praying.
Wow.
They didn't even know who they were calling. They wrote it down. God just gave them numbers. And then God said, call that number. Tell this guy he's doing a concert at your church. I ain't even had no Christian rhymes yet. That'll make it crazy. And they just was obedient to it. And I got 3 calls and they were out of the state. And I'm a New Yorker. And the first concert I ever did was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at a Salvation Army. God spoke to a Salvation Army officer to call that number. And he just did. And this is when I knew I was called to do it. I didn't even know what an altar call was because nobody never taught me about it, even though I was in church all these years. That's crazy that I never knew what that was. But when I was done, I had about 3 or 4 or 5 songs. And I said, man, if y'all just want Jesus, just come up. And about 20 people came up. But it was these 3 individuals that I knew God called me because of their ages. The ages was 98, 97, and 96. They were the best of friends. And they came up to me and said, you gave us something else to live for. Thank you. And I knew at that moment, that's what God called me to do. And I never stopped ever since. Never stopped ever since.
DPB, that's amazing, man, because, man, we got a lot of coming, man. I grew up with a single mother from a very religious family, man, a Christian family, man. Man, we ain't never a generation of pastors, preachers, music. Nobody reads music. Everybody sing. The Sherman family, they know us in South Carolina, you know, and things like that. And then fast forward in my life, man, I was ended up trying to find my way in ministry and stuff like that. And my first thing that I did was being a motivational speaker for the Salvation Army.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
You know, God connected. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's kind of like what started me and things like that. So, man, we have a different thing about you. I mean, I listen to your music, man. Your sound is different. It's not, it's Christian, but it's motivational, wrapped into one. And that's one of the things that I do is that, okay, I grew up in a generation of pastors and preachers. I get put over, you want me to, but my sermons twist to motivate you in life and things like that. What inspired you to do that music?
This is the coolest thing. I actually wrote a book called No Bad Days. I haven't had a bad day in 14 years, 15 years. I haven't had a bad day, but went through the worst year of my life 15 years ago. So I'll say 14 years, no bad days. 15 years, the worst year of my life. And it didn't matter. I never could understand why a preacher would never preach again until I went through what I went through 15 years ago. This is what it is, guys. So it doesn't matter how much you know of the word. When that thing goes down in your life, you start questioning everything. You don't want to go to church no more. You don't want nobody to speak a word over you. Like when it goes down, and depending how it goes down, man, you can get to a place in your life you never thought you would get to. You know, I was thinking of suicide. I ain't even a suicide person. You know, like I ain't gonna kill myself, but it had no problem coming to me. Thinking about it. And so if I don't have bad days for 15 years, 14 years, right? What am I going to talk about? So I'm letting people experience what it is not to have bad days. So what do I say? I say it every morning. Thank you, God, for waking me up. I feel so good today. See, I speak life to my day instead of letting how I feel determine what my day is going to be. You can get up and you mad at everybody. You don't even know what you're mad at. You don't want anybody to talk to you. Nothing. See, I just don't let how I feel dictate what my day is going to be. So I'll speak life to my day every morning. Actually, I do a TikTok show every morning, waking people up, showing them this is how you wake up. And I get about 4,000 every morning, 4,000 to 5,000 to come through every morning to hear it. Man, you're like my coffee and DPB, and I do music. I'm like, man, I'm just showing them the joy of the Lord is your strength. Even though you might not feel like it, he gave it to you so you can have strength. So I do not let how I feel dictate what I'm going to be. So I start putting that in music. see all the hurts and the pains that people don't see, the song Undefeated. I could have been down for the count, but I didn't. I'm undefeated. And I'm gonna keep on going. So like this was for the Associated Press to say that's a survival song of the year. And then check this out. Undefeated was played. That's how I know it's so encouraging. 20,000 times in the Ukraine in one day. It broke a Spotify history.
Wow.
Chart history. I was like, wow. I had to look at that on Google. I'm like, oh, dang, it's broke a Spotify chart history? Crazy. But God was saying, that's when you know you're speaking life to people. When it breathes life out of them, it causes them to want to live. And I think a lot of times Christian music don't even do that. And it's Christian music. It's like, God help me. God, I mean, man, you know, we always want God just to pick us up and we keep on going through. There's got to be a point that we don't keep on going through. There's got to be a point of the breakthrough, like the year of Jubilee where nothing goes. And that's what I've been experiencing for 14 years. Like, it's crazy. I never thought it was possible. Because when you grow up in the church, they let you know the enemy gonna come. Like, you know, all that stuff. But God had to change on my thinking to let me know, man, if I got you, you have to learn and trust me that I got you. And that's the things I had to learn in God, man, that God got me and I'm gonna be okay. And he said he'll never let anything come towards me that's gonna harm me. So if I'm getting harmed, I took it somewhere else. Not because God's whole heart is not to harm me. So I had to learn, I better learn his ways and do it his way. And because I learned to do that, I haven't had a bad day in 14 years. And people were trying to say, oh, he's not saying that nothing bad happened. Nothing bad comes towards me because I trust God. He knows what he's doing. If it's in front of me, he gave me everything I need to get through it because I trust him. And I believe that's what a lot of people don't never get is because people go to church because they have to learn to trust God each and every week. I still go to church still because I want to grow in God. I'm not, but I'll let you know, you know what you're doing, God. When I gave you my heart, it's not my life no more, it's yours. And you know what you're doing with life. And it makes life easier. I'm like, oh, God put this in front of me. He's just trying to check my heart, see what I'm gonna do. See, that's how I look at everything. Are we trying to see how much I'm gonna believe right here? I got it. Like, and you start seeing it differently. And I can't believe I can't believe that I'm walking in it. And that's why you hear it in the music. I'm giving you what I got. I believe it with all my heart. So if it don't affect me, just like when I was playing Undefeated this morning, I just started crying because people don't know the tears and the pain and the frustration I've gone through to even get something like this. Something like, man, that's like, thank you, God. You know, it's cool to be nominated, but it's different when you win it. You know, it's like, wow, I don't even know what to do with it after I got it. And I'm just like, but thank you, God, that you seen fit that I deserve something. That's the coolest thing. So that's what I do in my music. That's my inspiration of writing. How can I help others? Like I got another song called Let It Go. And I did it because I think people hold too much stuff in and they wonder why prayers are not being answered, all that type of stuff, why sickness is coming up on because of the bitterness that somebody did to them. So I made a song called Let It Go. All the bitterness you have aside, let it go. All the prejudice you try to hide, let it go. Time to get rid of all the pride. The people that hurt you, you gotta let it go. See, because the whole thing is, I want people to be free like me. But there could be different things in life that causes people not to really actually be free. And that could be bitterness, hurt heart, all those type of things. But you got to let it go so you can fly. Maybe the person don't deserve that, but you need that for you to fly. It's for you, not for the other person. But so I might be talking too much.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I'm enjoying it. So you said something because, like you say, everybody look for God for this and look for God for that and things like that. But then it comes to a point where your mindset has to change. You know,
Right.
you can say, hey man, I ain't had nothing happen to me in 14 years. My thing is, you don't have a bad day. You just have moments.
I don't even
You
have bad
know?
moments.
Right. Yeah.
That's what make it,
Right.
that's what make it crazy because it's how you, to be honest with you, it's like when you can go into something understanding already, it don't feel like that moment. Like,
Right.
all right, I look at God and said, I will never test you more than you can handle. See, that's right there. That word never. So I know this is a test for me. So I'm going into it. All right, God is testing me to see what I'm going to do. So that makes, if it's supposed to be something crazy, it don't seem crazy because I'm approaching it different. I'm approaching it the way God wanted me to. Like, he tells me I have to take off this former thing and put on a new thing. I got to take off this former mindset, put on a new mindset. Like, I can't expect for nothing new to happen if I don't put new stuff in it.
Right.
So I'm learning, okay, you got something new for me? Let me walk in the newness then. I don't like my former, so I might as well walk in the new. And when you fully walk in your new, what can anybody do? It's not an argument if somebody don't argue back. So I don't have arguments. I'm like, all right, somebody cuss me out. I'm not gonna cuss them out back. I'm gonna smile. They're gonna think I'm mocking them, but I'm not gonna let them have the power over me for me to go to that level. Why? I've been there, done that. And so I learned a soft answer turns away wrath. Since I learned, who can argue with somebody that talks to you softly? So it's like God has given us all the tools. If we don't use it, then he says, my people are destroyed because of the lack of knowledge. We don't know. So I just decide I do want to know. I do want to walk in the things that God has for me is to have this easy life. It may sound strange to somebody out there, but look, even I learned this. God in the Bible, Jesus said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me because my yoke is easy. So that's why I feel like life is easy the more I learn about God and do what he tells me to do. He tells me, like, I got the solution for mental health issues. I'm like, hey, it's really a simple process that the world made so difficult. Like, but I've seen so many people get free just based on me teaching them about mental health issues, PTSD. I mean, I'm telling you, I know how to, for all that to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. And think about it, like you say, when you're rooted and grounded in God and the Word of God, nothing can really, shake you. I mean, like I said, you'll have experiences. I can get that. But the thing about it, like you said, if you get crazy, guess what? I get crazy with it because I got a power on high that can help me get through it. And,
That's it.
I ain't freaking out over nothing.
And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, nope, God, you got it. You know, you got it, God. That's easy for you to take care of. Oh, that's easy. Go ahead, God. Like, I just don't pay attention to it. I just don't worry about it. And he tells me not to worry. So I don't. I'm like, okay, you got me. This is your life. When I gave you my heart, whoever you give your heart to has you. So I gave my heart to Jesus. He got me. It's yours. You know what you're doing. You know this. It ain't take you by surprise, God. So why would I be surprised?
Exactly. That's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. So let me ask you this, DPB. So, coming from New York, like you say, the rap sound, hey man, that was battleground back in
Yeah,
the
for
day.
sure.
Yeah, that was battleground. And then you decided to say, hey, I'm gonna switch this thing up and do it my way as a Christian rapper. I'm gonna call it motivational too, because that's what it is.
No, for sure. Motivational. Go ahead.
And what were some of the challenges you had? Because that's different. That's different. And you don't really get that sound too much. I mean, it's a little more today, but what was the challenges that you faced, if you had any?
Wanted to be accepted by your rap peers. So I think it would be easy to compromise that because you want to be accepted. You want all the rappers to respect that you can rap. And Every time I try to do that to this day, God's like, that's not you though. You're doing that to try to impress people. That's not you though. So I stop. So I don't even listen to rap, even though I do it. That's what keeps the uniqueness of what God has for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I listen to it, it's because I also do remakes. So I'll take somebody's song and I'll remake it gospel and make it sound exactly the way I believe it should have sound gospel. That's what people get up to. They love getting up to it. They're like, bro, you made all those? I said, yup. And I'm like, there is no reason for all this good music to sound crazy with all the words when I could change the words and have fun with it because the music sounds amazing. And people just love. I got hundreds of them. It's crazy.
Wow. So DPB, can you talk about some of the things you've done to make a change in young people's life? I felt like that was your heart when when I looked at all the stuff you do. I mean, you were very impactful when it comes to the youth.
For sure. Since I've been doing what I've been doing, my concerts alone, I've seen over 1 million people saved just from my concerts alone.
Wow.
That is not including being on stages with other people. Just my concerts alone, over 1 million people. And to me, it's all about a soul. I remember going to Cut Bank, Montana. I remember like the pastor said, yo, man, there's only 20 people in the town. I'm like, and I asked God, I said, God, why would you bring me all the way up here from my family to come here and minister to 20 people, right? And then that's what God said. I thought it was all about one soul. So I switched my heart up and it was crazy. Those 20 people blessed me more than if I had 100 people up in there. Then God was showing me, see, when your heart is right, everything is going to be all right. See, if you're doing it for all the people, you'll never have people. But if you do it because you have a heart for people, I'll bring you all the people. And that's exactly, so my heart, I go to Chicago for the last 25 years, Southside Chicago doing drive-by concerts. Crazy. Minneapolis, been doing it for the last 25 years. Some of the hardest places, and I even brought up hard like that. But because I have a heart for people in their lives, God put me in those places like that. I love people, man. And I would want somebody to take time with me. So if I was lost, so I make sure I'll take time with people, man. People will go where they love the most.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, man. When you are doing it the way you do it, and I always tell people, man, you have to take time to hear people or whatever. Like the case, like you said, you go to a town with 20 people in there. God always say, you're faithful with a few things, I'm gonna make you rule over many.
Come on.
When
That's
it's
right.
all said and done. But he knows your heart and he wants to expand your territory if your heart ain't in the right place.
That's right. You're exactly right.
That's it. So now I know some guys, I know some people, and I've heard of some people and younger people too, just want to get into the Christian rap thing and go out here and do things like that. What kind of advice would you give them when it comes to that? Because it's totally different than doing it in the secular type of rap, and things like that. When you're dealing with Christian rap or trying to be a positive role model through your rap and through your gift of a rapper, what kind of advice would you give them?
It's two things. Learn everything you need to learn about God. I mean, that's who you're talking about and that's who you represent. Make sure your life is a stable life and that you're living the life that you're preaching. I think that's so important to be true to where you at. I mean, because you're preaching something. So, and if you know that's what God called you to do, don't worry about being famous. Just worry about practicing. Make sure that you become the best you. So when God puts you on that stage, everybody know you prepared for that stage. Whatever stage it may be, practice unto the Lord. Keep on doing it. When nobody ain't looking, I always say, whatever you do behind closed doors, God will show it open. So my whole things, people will know if you worked on your stuff or not. People will know, man. You can tell, oh, that's a cute thing. Oh, that's a cool thing. Nah, they are great because they worked hard on their stuff. So I'll tell you, work hard, don't stop, especially if you know God called you. I had to learn it's not my ministry, it's his. So I'm gonna do what he tell me to do. So I would work when nobody ain't seeing. Days, sometimes years, and all of a sudden, God said your gift will make room for you. It will make room. So God gonna show it to somebody if you work on it and you stay faithful. So if I had something to say to every person who is striving to be, it doesn't matter if it is for God or not for God. You have to go forth and just shine that gift, you know, and keep on working at it till you know you ain't gonna mess up, that your breathing is correct. Because some people they can write rhymes and can't even do their whole rhymes without vocals on these tracks. And I've seen people go, Jesus walked down the road and he's going down like because they couldn't catch their breath. That's what practice do. You practice. I practice jogging. I practice doing different things to make sure I keep my breath. So no matter what I'm doing, and, so always keep on exercising your gift. Don't stop. Even if it don't look like nothing ain't happening, God said he will bring that gift before great men if you nurture it, you shine it. That means you always working on it to become better to the best to where you feel like you can. I learned this through Bootsy Collins. If you don't pour all yourself into the track ain't done. You got to pour all you got into that track.
Yeah. So you said something phenomenal that you take that gift and you polish it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk about presenting it to men, to great men or people.
Yep.
You can't give them that the dull. It's got to be polished up before you present it to them.
Yep. People will talk. When it's great, people will talk. People will start to say your name around the country because he is amazing. See, that's the way we're supposed to be. When you love doing something, you work on it, you work on it. See, like in my mind, I'm Michael Jackson of hip hop. So I know how great he is with what he does. So when I hear, man, he practices 10 hours and 15 hours to do this for that, I'm like, how can I ever get there if I don't do that? How can I ever do like if I'm man, I better go forth. Like, so I have to go forth and all right, I work. And I'm like, okay, I got to work unto the Lord with all my heart, give everything I got every day, continue to write, continue to exercise music, continue to keep my mind because I'm going to be ready. Whenever it's done, I'm ready. Nobody ain't got to ask me to get ready. I'm ready.
Right.
So if somebody wants me to leave right now to go and perform, I'm ready. See, I don't have to worry about it. I know exactly how it's going to be, what's going to happen, and all that type of stuff because I'm ready.
You stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, right?
That's right. So
Yeah.
I hope that helped answer
That
that
was
question.
it. That was it on point. So lastly, DPB, how can my listeners purchase your music, book you for motivation speaking, or follow you on social media?
Everything World of DPB, one word. TikTok, World of DPB. Instagram, World of DPB. Facebook, World of DPB. Twitter, World of DPB. Website, worldofdpb.com. So everything is so easy. World of DPB. If you forget the DPB, remember this David Peanut Butter. You'll never forget the DPB because people mix those words up. Was it BDP? Was it DBP? David Peanut Butter, you never forget it. World of DPB, not the world. This World of DPB, you'll find me everywhere online. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're over 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Let's keep on going. Yeah. So thank you, man.
There you have it. There you have it. World of DPB.
Yeah.
DPB. Let me say it again. DPB. David Peanut Butter.
See, you're right. That's exactly.
So appreciate you so much, brother DPB. I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're busy, man, but you were very impactful, and the things you're doing with in your life and through the world. I mean, anything I can do to help or assist, man, I'm in.
Appreciate you, my brother.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk Reginald D. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. See you next time.